Hey, everybody, we've got a lot of clients telling us that they're running into a summer selling slump. And at ISHTU, we ain't buying it. So listen to today's episode to learn how to get over the perceived summer selling slump, because it shouldn't happen to us.
Straight from the heart of Miami, this is It Shouldn't Happen to Us. After 30 years of selling and training sales teams, we still screw it up sometimes. And this is where we tell you all about it, because it shouldn't happen to us.
Whoa, hey, hi.
Hey, Sophia. Nice to see you, Sophia.
Nice to see you.
I was expecting a different way to approach it, but that's okay. Cool. What are we talking about today? What are we talking about in terms of sales and sharpening our sales game?
Well, today's episode is all about, a classic, we all love it, the perceived, notice the way I'm teeing this up here, perceived summer slump in sales. Oh,
what did you
get
say
triste.
to me? It's summertime.
And the living's easy. Summertime and the living's easy. Maybe not so easy in terms of the pipeline. Maybe the pipeline flow ain't so easy. So we're talking about
around 10 years ago. Around 10 years ago is when Antonio and I started this business, based down deep in the heart of Miami. It was like us and the crocodiles, and everyone we met in the marketplace told us, no business gets done in Miami in the summer. No business. Nobody does business in the summer. And you know, when you start your business, there's no business getting done anywhere. Any time of the year. It was like we were scratching around, and you know, I just didn't buy it. So it just didn't make sense to me that whole no business gets done in the summer. It was like, I don't buy it. And you know what? From then to now, we've never experienced in our business anything that looks like a summer kind of slump, summer seasonality. We haven't really ever experienced seasonality, because I just don't buy it. I think it's something we tell ourselves to make it easy, to give us a good reason to go on holiday and not worry about it. I just don't buy it. What do you think?
I don't buy it either. So ISHTUers, for those listening, those of you who sell insurance, sheet metal, IT solutions, whatever it is you sell, every summer you may or may not get the stall or objection from a prospect that it's summertime and we don't like, why don't we have, let's reschedule this meeting for the end of summer. We don't like to make any decisions. Our budget is kind of skinny in summertime, or everyone's on vacation, so it's going to be hard to get decision makers in the room because of summertime. So we're talking about that stall and objection. We're also going to be talking about the summer slump that we create for ourselves in our pipeline, perhaps because we're going on vacation, because we get a little lazy in our consistency when it comes to our healthy prospecting activities. So I've heard the stall many times, Carlos. I think in the past, I've maybe taken that bait, like, oh, makes sense. No, makes sense. All right. And so then I don't lead them to a great decision.
But, you know, here's the interesting thing. Does it make sense? I want you to imagine for a moment, instead of a prospect saying to you, hey, let's look at this after the summer. You know, it's summertime. We've got, like, you know, people are away on vacation. Let's look at it after the summer. Imagine instead of that, they said to you, hey, Sophia, you know, we don't really make decisions like this on a Wednesday. Wednesdays aren't decision day. So let's look at it on a Monday next week. We don't do things on Wednesday.
It's just not, it doesn't make sense.
Wednesday. I think you would say, what? You don't do meetings like this on a Wednesday? That's fascinating. It's like a weird rule.
Like, we don't wear green on Mondays.
You know, I can't make decisions like this when I've got these shoes on, and I haven't got my decision shoes on today. No, I need to put the other shoes on. If I'd have known that we needed shoes, I'd have put different shoes on, right?
The world just doesn't work like that. Like, it's like Tire Kingdom. It's not. It's like, oh, people don't really need tires in the summer. It's like, I imagine you need new tires when you need new tires. You need insurance when you need insurance. And so if we are prospecting as salespeople and we're looking for the needle in the haystack, we're looking for that prospect who's ready right now, who has urgency, who, right? the world isn't black and white. The pendulum doesn't swing that way. If we're doing our consistent behaviors, we're bound to stumble upon somebody who needs us right now, but we're not going to find them if we tell ourselves that if people don't make decisions in the summertime, and our behaviors decrease, well, we're not going to find those people who do need us in the summertime if we buy it.
So this is part of the puzzle. I think you've hit. I think this is a. Well, actually, let me take a step backwards. I'm thinking now about a client of mine, and they'll know who I'm. If they're listening to this, they'll know who I'm talking about. They'll know I'm talking about them, but we're certainly not going to mention their name. But there was a perceived wisdom in that client. I think I've spoke about them on the pod before. There's a perceived wisdom at that. There was a perceived wisdom in that client that all their business is done in Q4 because that's how their industry works. Their business is done in Q4, and more than that, it's really done in December, which meant they did like 90% of their business in December. Well, who's got a heart that robust, right? They're tearing their hair out. They would Thanksgiving would roll around, and then it was like all hands to the pump, and they would go and close all their business in December. And I just never bought it. I'm just like, I'm not buying it. No, Carlos, you don't know this business. I don't, but I'm not buying it. No, this is how it's done in this business. Everybody's doing it this way in this business. I'm not buying it. I'm just simply not buying it. Your customers need your stuff in January and February and March, exactly like they need it in October, November, December. So I am not buying it. Now, they were like a big capital spend. I get it, but I'm not buying it. And you know what? They're now pretty, in fact, they've done such a good job in Q1 and Q2. They're actually worried that their pipeline might be a bit thin going into Q4. They've completely shifted, they've changed the universe. They've bent the world, they've bent the universe to their will. And that's to their credit, because they ditched this nonsense that there's some kind of seasonality, some artificial seasonality that really is no more than a prospect just trying to wriggle out of a decision. I'm just not buying it. I don't buy it. I'd never bought it for our business, and I don't buy it for a prospect's business. I'm just trying to think, if you're in greetings cards, even greetings cards, they do a great Easter trade, a great Mother's Day trade, a great Father's Day trade, a great Valentine's Day trade. It ain't all Christmas, right?
We're asking you, ISHTUers, to question some of your head trash, some of the noise between your ears that somebody put there. You didn't put it there. Somewhere along the line of your
wisdom that made sense when you heard it.
Right.
Made sense because it got your ego out of a very difficult conversation, which was, is this me? Or is it more comfortable to believe that nobody closes business in the summer? Yeah. I like the way those shoes fit. I'd rather believe that nobody closed rather than look in the ugly mirror and think, is this my fault? A lot easier to believe that nobody closes.
And perhaps some industries, ISHTUers, hey, we're not saying it is the way right? This is not black and white. Perhaps there are some industries that more sales, there is some more dead months, but how can we spin the offerings? How can we encourage prospects to be more proactive? How do we position how we can help them in a way that is proactive? We understand that some industries, maybe there are industries, but that summer or holidays, but even the holiday objection. Let's wait till after the holidays. It's all myths that we believed.
It's a never-ending stream. I'm getting a little PTSD. I remember a client that I was speaking to years ago, and it was like, well, holidays are coming up. Can we look at it after holidays? And then, after holidays, it was like, can we push this to Q2? Because Q1, we haven't really landed our budgets yet. Okay. And me, like a good soldier, oh, absolutely. Let's look at it in Q2. Q2 rolls around. And they started holiday stalling in March, right? Well, summer's coming up. Well, it's not really, is it? Oh, okay. Can we look at it after the summer? Soon as summer goes, the holidays are just around the corner. And it is a never-ending calendar of good reasons not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
How
do you overcome that?
Was it a prospect that was frightened of saying no, or was it a prospect that was frightened of saying yes? I wonder which one it was. I wonder if they just didn't have the courage to say to me, Carlos, we ain't ever doing this. Or did they want it and they were frightened of the fact that they wanted it? Don't know. It's one of those two, though.
So, Carlos, how do you overcome that stall of, hey, Carlos, this is great stuff that you're showing me, or I'm really compelled by this conversation. I think it makes more sense for us to push it to the end of summer. Why don't you get back to us at the end of summer?
I mean, the first thing to do is to, what do we always say? We sell to the oh, this is great technique, guys. Get your pens out. Get your pens out. This is great technique now. Sophia's given us a beautiful case here. So let's just dissect what Sophia said. Love what you're saying. Love it. Love you. You're handsome and windswept and interesting. I love the blueness of your eyes. Just like they give you something real sunny at the front. Then there's a comma, like the comma hangs, and then they say, let's look at it after the summer. And most salespeople sell to the statement after the comma. Oh, big mistake. You sell to the phrase before the comma. That's the magic. That's the technique, right? So let's imagine someone had just said the first bit. Love it, Carlos. As salespeople, we know what to do with that. We know there are those salespeople like me and you where we're a little bit more provocative, where we'll say, hey, George, I love the stroke, but what do you love about it, right? And we get them to talk to us about it. There are those people that hear, I love it, and they pull a contract out of their bag and push it in front of the prospect and say, sign here. Whatever you would do with that to that first statement as a standalone piece, love it, love you, love it, love the blueness of your eyes. That first bit, that's what you do. You forget the second bit. Now, the mistake most people make is they sell to the second bit. They forget that they almost didn't hear the bit before the comma. They sell to the bit after the comma. I love it, Carlos. Let's look at it after the summer. And they think what they've got to handle is the let's look at it after the summer. Now, what do we do with let's look at it after the summer? Oh, help me understand. I mean, there are ways to handle that as a standalone. But the way you just gave it me, sell to the bit before the comma. Sell to the piece before the comma. I love it, Carlos. What do you love about it? Hey, what's getting in your way? I'm getting a sense you love it, but not that much. Hey, tell me why you loved it so much. Oh, you said you loved it. I'm confused. I didn't think it would land that well. Forget the last bit. The first bit is what's important. And now they're selling to me. Well, I like the way your software does this, and I like the way your software does that. And I might even challenge a bit more. Yeah, but don't all softwares do that? No, Carlos. No, yours is very special. And again, the blueness of your eyes. You sell to the statement before the comma is technique number one. Now, let's imagine you're only faced with the statement after the comma. Mm-hmm, Carlos, let's look at this after the summer. Well, first of all, if they haven't got the first statement in, I think that's a real strong buying signal. Because the first statement, the stroke, I love it, is designed to take the edge off. Let's look at it after the summer. So if they're not taking the edge off that statement, what they're really trying to do is make me uncomfortable. And the only reason they would ever be trying to make me uncomfortable is if they're putting the negotiation pants on, right? They want me uncomfortable because they're actually going to do it. So somebody just does it without the first statement, without the stroke. Somebody says to me, hey, Carlos, let's just look at this after the summer. That's almost intentionally provocative, right? That's a little shake of my cage. And so that's a big buying signal. And now you've got to do a good meet and lead strategy, right? Hey, makes sense after the summer. Help me understand what's the summer. What's the summer sort of relevance here? Help me understand that. Dig into it. Well, the CFO's on vacation. Oh, you need the CFO. Yeah, it'd be nice to have the CFO. Oh, now I'm confused, but my fault, not yours. Do you need the CFO or it's nice to have the CFO? No, it'd be nice to have the CFO. Okay, but you could do it without the CFO. Yeah, but I'd be uncomfortable. Oh, why would you put yourself in an uncomfortable position? I get it. I want to be your supporter. So now I'm going to just chip away and chip away and chip. I'm going to really want to understand what the summer has got to do with anything. And you know what you can often find? Not often. Sometimes they're ready to make the decision, but they don't want to start till after summer. Well, you can always contract it.
Doesn't mean you can still get a contract. You can still get credit card and not hit it.
You can get a check. You can get a contract. You can get an agreement, even if only verbal. You know, there's a whole load of stuff you can get. You don't have to start till after the summer, right? What would you do with that? Hey, Sophia, let's look at it after the summer.
You know, George, that makes a lot of sense. You want to look at it till after the summer. You know, Carlos or George, typically when a prospect tells me that they'd like to look at it after the summer, it's oftentimes a way to get me out of their hair in a nice way. Is this on a scale of ouch to 911 emergency? Is it really not about summer? Is it really about, it's just really not that urgent right now, which is not uncommon? Beautiful. Is it an urgency issue? Is it a summer issue? Are we hanging the urgency issue? Are we dressing the urgency not that urgent right now? Or maybe you don't like me. Maybe you don't really like me so much and you want to get me out of your hair, which I can handle. We're dressing it in a summer slump, summer dress.
What is it we always say? There's yeses that are courtesy and there's yeses that are consent. And someone that's saying, let's do it after the summer, it's tempting to hear that as a yes. But is it courtesy or is it consent? Because a courtesy yes is really a no.
I think it's good to encourage your prospect to just say no. And that doesn't mean never. I am delighted to reach back out to you at the end of summer. I'm going to need business in my pipeline, opportunities in my pipeline at the end of summer too. What I really want to uncover is it really about summer, or is it that this just does not interest you at all, period? Is it not now? I'm trying to get to the truth in a way that isn't abrasive, because that's not in our mindset, ISHTUers. It's not about pushing hard and all right, he gave me the summer slump, let's put my boxing gloves on. It's really not. It's about encouraging prospects to put their cards down, stop holding them so close to their vest, and create a natural environment in the selling space where prospects feel comfortable to tell you the real truth.
I 100% agree, and you've just pointed out something that I think is very relevant too in terms of summer slump. You said I'm gonna need a pipeline after the summer too, and you know what I've noticed over the years when I'm working with thousands of sales guys, those that run a pipeline, those that are more than a one call close, those that have actually got a little more complexity in their sales cycle, they've got that they're selling to complex decision making. They will run hard to close because they're going on vacation, right? They're going on vacation for 2 weeks. They're going to, I don't know, Disneyland with the kids, or to Tahiti for 2 weeks. They're going somewhere, 2-3 weeks. And they're wily sales guys. They know time kills all deals. The last thing they want is their pipeline lying sort of fallow and in danger for 3 weeks. So they're going to try and close out as much as possible before they get away. So in an ideal world, they've closed all their deals and they go away with a clear mind. I've done a great job. Go away in June, July, come back, and they've not been prospecting for 3 weeks. They've got a big air bubble in their pipeline. They've come back to an empty pipeline. And what do we always tell our clients? The strength of your conviction is directly proportional to the depth of your pipeline. If you've got a skinny pipeline, your conviction is low, which means your close rate is low. And guess what? That sounds like a summer slump to me. Close rate is low because conviction is low. Conviction is low because pipeline is slim. So pipeline is slim because you've been in Tahiti sipping margaritas. No, you've deserved it. No judgment about the margaritas. Good for you. But you've been in Tahiti sipping margaritas, you've come back, and you've got nothing in your pipeline. Priority one. And also, you're telling yourself, it's summer. Nobody's there for me to take the call anyway. So I'm going to make my 3-week vacation bleed into really a 6-week feet up while the kids are on vacation. I mean, we do it to ourselves. We do it in our
We
beliefs.
self-inflict our own summer slump
We self-inflict
within our pipeline.
because we've told ourselves, or somebody's told us, no one buys in the summer. Then we've closed out our pipeline in Q2, and we've come back to a thin pipeline, no pipeline, conviction low, and so nobody's closing because my conviction's low. And we don't know how to handle the stall, and nor should we try and handle that stall because our belief says that stall's right. Hey, makes sense.
Yeah.
No one buys in the summer, and I think
yes.
take the kids out, cover the kids' ears for a minute, listeners. I think it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit.
I agree with you 100%. I think that what's going to set you, ISHTUers, what is going to set you aside from your competitors? What's going to set you aside from the salespeople that are selling a similar software, similar policy, whatever it is you're selling, is that you double down while everyone is letting their Tahiti margaritas bleed into their pipeline after they've come back from vacation and before. Double down. Eat your competition's lunch by doubling down on behaviors while everyone is...
I don't know about you, but I mean, it's early here. It's like 10 a.m. We're recording this at 10 a.m. and I want a Tahiti margarita. Do you want a Tahiti margarita right now? I want my pipeline full of Tahiti margarita. You know what we always sell people? Don't we always say, if you've got a belief that isn't serving you, great technique this. You've got a belief that isn't serving you. Let's imagine that belief is people don't buy in the summer. So that's a belief that isn't serving you. You ask yourself a question. Is this 100% true or might it be not true? And of course, the answer is it might not be true. And then ask yourself, what would the opposite be? The opposite would be people buy loads more in the summer, right? That's the opposite.
I love that.
And then you say, what would you do if that were true? What would your behavior be? What would your actions be? What would you be saying? What would you be doing if the opposite were true? Do that, and you might find that the opposite is true. So, people don't buy in the summer. Is that 100% true? Probably don't know. Probably not. What would the opposite sound like? People buy way more in the summer. What would I do if I believed that were true? People buy a lot more in the summer. Well, I'd be out like a crazy person. I'd be actually having my summer vacation some other time of the year, because who wants to leave the field at harvest time, right? That's when I've got to make hay while the sun is shining. So if the opposite were true, I'd be doing twice the behaviors. I'd be expecting twice the number of deals to close. And do you know what's amazing? As I think Tom Landry said, you get what you expect and you encourage what you tolerate. The great Tom Landry, coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And for anybody listening to any of my old friends listening to this, who is going to be very impressed that I know Dallas Cowboy and American sports references. Tom Landry said, you get what you expect and you encourage what you tolerate. If you expect people to be giving you a summer stall, you're going to get it and then you're going to tolerate it. But if you don't expect it, if you expect the opposite, a summer rush, that's what you'll get. And then when someone gives you a summer stall, you don't tolerate it. I think this episode.
So happy summer rush.
Go. Summer rush.
Happy summer rush, ISHTUers.
Make some money in the summer rush. That's summer slump or summer rush. I know what I'm choosing. Which would you choose, Soph?
Summer rush all day.
I can hear
with
Mungo
a
Jerry ringing in my ears right now. Have you ever remember Mungo Jerry in the summertime? In the summertime, he had those big lamb chop afro, like he had an afro and big lamb chop beard. In the summertime. You don't remember in the summertime, Mungo Jerry?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
I'm age. That shows my age, right? I'm going to play it for you later.
Okay. So, guys, be careful of your own self-inflicted summer slump. Treat it like a summer rush. Like this video if you're watching it on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe if you're listening on your morning commute, if you're listening to us on a podcast platform. And prospect, treat your book of business. Hey, and by the way, with clients too, current clients, don't go dark on your current clients. Don't go quiet on your current clients either. Don't treat them like they're in summer slump mode either, because you never want that. You don't want to, at the end of summer, for them to go bye-bye, right? So summer rush, happy summer rush.
Happy summer rush, everybody. Good selling. It's goodbye from Sophia.
And goodbye from Carlos.
Take care.
Thanks for listening.